Guys, I got a lot to say about this fucking movie. A lot to say about it.
I'm glad you have a lot to say because this cut is very short.
It's so short.
Like it's our the whole chunk is 20 minutes, but the end credits are so long and so slow. They're a full quarter of the content to talk about.
Yeah, we're on
So,
our seventh movie now, right? And every single time we get to the cut with the credits, I'm like surprised. I'm like, oh, there's not like 5 more minutes of this
yeah.
Well,
because
luckily
I'm so
they,
used to everything running to the final moment.
at least they culminated with a really huge battle scene that didn't take 4 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. I'm so mad right now. Look, I went into this fresh. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Hey, y'all, this is Crouching Tiger King, and I'm here talking on the Sword Boys. I'm gonna be ruined from this goddamn podcast, and that Carol girl. All right, this is extremely dated. Let me try that again.
I'm
Hi,
ne-
this is Carol Baskin.
I'm the Dragon Lady, Carol Baskin.
I'm
They
Rick and
call
I'm
me
never going to
Jade Fox.
financially recover from this opener.
That's good.
Yes.
I like that. Well, this movie should be put in jail for the murder of a good movie at the end. I'm Jonathan.
Oh.
Welcome to Sword Boys. We're here. Rick, what are the timestamps?
That's right. This is cut 6. It begins at 1 hour, 39 minutes, 20 seconds and goes until the end of the movie at 2 hours, 5 seconds, beginning with Jade Fox doing some needlework and ending with a secret post-credit scene where Shulin discovers the secret realm of Ta Lo so she can be in a Marvel movie 21 years later.
I can't believe they had her in that same goo they had Skeletor in. That's crazy.
Yeah, she popped up. She's like, I'll be back. It was like, why do you sound like Frank Langella?
We all wish we sound like Frank Langella. All right. So I don't, again, as everyone knows, I don't remember anything about this movie. I saw it a million years ago, 25 years ago when it came out. And guess what? It all came back to me why I don't like this movie. The end of this movie makes me so mad. I was sitting there watching it again, and I'm like, this is why I didn't like it. Because I said, I think in cut 1, I'm like, I don't remember. I told you guys I don't think I like this movie, but I don't remember why. This is why. Cut 6 of the movie. So to go into it, let's talk about it, and then I'll get to my feelings about it. Because cut 5, I was literally walking on air just like Lee Mubai. I was walking on air, enjoying the fighting, and then okay, something has been edited out of this movie, right? She dove into the water after the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the next thing we see, she is face down in the water like she's dead, but she's holding onto the sword, which dead people totally do. Jade Fox grabs her and goes into the woods. And then this next scene is her kind of, Jade Fox is one fitting her multi-shooting, her machine gun, her Gatling needle gun. She's loading that. But Jen is like completely like, she's got like the vapors. Like she's fucked up beyond anything over and I was like, she just dove in the water. She just dove in the water. Like, no, they didn't show me anything that gave me. Now I know now that she was also the incense is drugging her. Okay. She's sweating. She's laying there sweating. Like, what happened to her? I feel like something was edited for time out of this movie.
I wonder if the actress just didn't want to film a drowning scene. She's like, yeah, they know I dove into the water. I don't need to be like underwater. Oh, I can't breathe, but I still have the sword. Maybe she just didn't want to do that.
Did they yada, yada, yada?
Right.
I mean, I think they imply, when Lee Mubai shows up, he says you've been drugged. So I'm thinking she saved her. Now she's like, all right, we're going to make this work, me and you together. And I'm just going to keep you drugged up until you accept this as your face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're saying she wasn't hurt at all. She just was pre-drugged when she woke up in the midst of being drugged.
Yeah, exactly. Because Jade is not like her friend anymore. She's very upset with her, but
she's
just
pretending.
like, I'm gonna make this kid. Yeah.
She's pretending at the beginning. If I had a nickel for every time that Jen woke up in a cave in this movie, I would have 3 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's funny that it happened 3
That is
times.
that is a lot. That is a lot.
What if Alfred stepped out and was just like, Madam Jade, would you like a Diet Coke?
Why do we fall down, Master Jen? So that we can get up again, all sweaty and gross.
Yeah, whatever Jade Fox puts in that little incense burner, that's definitely what's got Jen in a stupor once Lee Mubai shows up.
I bet Robin knows.
Jade...
Robin's really big on putting things that smoke and smell in weird ways into his body, so he probably knows what put her in a stupor.
Well, at first I thought that she was doing prison tats, like she was dipping those needles in the ink.
Oh yeah.
And then of course later on when Shu Lin's sitting with Mrs. Wu, I'm like, oh, Shu Lin's getting a little tat work done too. But I know that Jen and Lee Mubai both get really stoned in this cut, and I want some of what they got. You know what I'm saying? I'll have what she's having.
So this is also the part where, okay, this is where the beginnings of what starts to unravel for me unravels. When Jade Fox is talking to Jen, this is again her talking about why go home. We've gone so far, we won't stop now. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when I start getting mad. I'm like, but they haven't really explained why Jade Fox hates them. We know why. Sort of. We know relatively. They weren't going to teach her. They were just going to bed her. She's pissed. Got it. She stole a secret scroll, and that secret scroll gave her a certain amount of Wudon power. But it gave Jen even more power. But I felt that this movie, at this point, I wish there was still, because I know what's coming, more about Jade Fox and why she hates them. She is not, other than a very base level, the bad guy, except because the script says so. I don't feel they earned her. She's a bad guy because she stuck a fucking hatchet in that dude's head. But she's also like, but you also kind of want to be on her side. Like, should you be on her side? Because she was kind of shit on by the Wudon. As far we're learning it from a narrator that is her, so it's not actually, we don't know if it's true. But I feel like the movie is wanting me to be like, oh, she's wronged, but she's evil. And then later on at the end, I'm kind of like, oh, she's evil, but she's even like, it's not a great evil. I'm just not, I'm not happy with the evilness of our bad guy in this movie.
It's almost like we could have taken some of that desert fuck cave time and devoted it to Jade Fox going to Wudan Mountain and being rejected, instead of just watching Jen with her, eat, pray, love sequence.
When she gets low. Yeah, I would have loved some Jade Fox origins. Boy, I'm really curious about that sequel now. I wonder if there's any connection besides just the sword. And I think maybe Shu Lin might be in it. I don't know. But I would love to have some of this elaborated on, other than the big, Jade Fox gets to monologuing at the end and lets everybody know how upset she is, especially with Jen.
I mean, we're 1 minute and 23 seconds into this cut, and she walks out. Jade Fox walks out into the rain. She tells Jen, we're gonna be our own masters now. Like, I've gotten you away. She's basically given Jen everything she wanted, which was to be away from her family. Cool, great. Jen now is no longer, and then she's like, I'm gonna go fart off. So she farts off. We don't know where she's going. She's going to what?
Oh, I think she's springing a trap here, right?
Yes,
because at first I'm like, know
that yet.
You moron! Why are you walking in where Shu Lin can see you?
But we don't know that yet. As the viewer, we don't know that she is setting a trap.
Yeah. Besides, she just lit the incense. She just sparked off that ayahuasca journey that Jen is going to go on. And so she needs to get away from that incense burner so that she doesn't also get pulled into the trip.
Or she's used to it.
Yeah, she might have built up a tolerance by now.
You think she gets high on her own supply?
Maybe.
Very irresponsible. But Lady Raven actually hasn't started playing yet. So this is actually early in the trap. Thank you for the polite chuckle.
I'm not giving you one because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So they go show that, and then Shulin is at her back, I guess, back at her place.
Yep. And Mrs. Wu is like, you should have murdered that little girl. You should have cut her head off, not even hesitated, just killed her. She's crazy. And I'm like, Mrs. Yu, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
Mm.
Slow your roll, Mrs. Yu. And then we cut back, and Jen is waking up, and she's hot and bothered. She doesn't have any water, so she walks. Thank God it's raining, so she walks and basically stands in a shower, and she's still carrying the sword. Loves the sword.
She has not let go of the sword. And first, good on her, despite her drugged state, of holding on to that sword, because I don't want to think about, oh, Jade Fox now has green destiny. What's she gonna do with it? Like, no. Hold on to that thing as tight as you can. So that way, when Li Mubai shows up, he can get a hold of it and do some good with it. But Jen does this weird little move. She's kind of drugged out. Li Mubai shows up, and she like opens her tunic, and obviously she's wearing something underneath. Like, it's not that kind of movie, but she straight up asks him.
This is Coyote Ugly right here.
Yeah, and she says, "Is it me or the sword you want?" And Li Mubai's like, "That's a really complicated answer because it's like yes, but also not exactly yes. It's
like it's been a while.
Like it's like you're high.
We're here, but you're high. This is irresponsible."
No, he wants Jen, but he wants Jen as a Padawan learner so that he can teach her the Force. But she's like, wet t-shirt contest. And he's like, that's not what I'm here for. I want green destiny. I don't want to put you in school.
Yeah. Go to school, young lady. Yeah, and this is when Lee kicks the little incense burner. I wrote down teapot. But, I just don't know what I'm looking at half the time.
He's a little incense burner, short.
Here is his handle, and here is his other handle because there's no spout.
Yeah,
there ain't no spout.
But I just assumed that she was Jade Fox was like giving her little dart bricks, But
yeah, he kicks it in the incense burner in the water, and then he does some meditation hands on his.
This is another thing he stole from Miyagi-Do, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, he does pull out the smelling salts to like wake her up a little bit. Then he's like, "I'm gonna force push the drugs out of your system."
Does he just carry around smelling salts? What a weirdo!
Yeah, I mean,
hey, you never know. Shulin's constantly falling asleep on our mini quests. You get, you just need a quick thing to just get her up and get her moving. So it works on horses too.
That's the deleted scene we didn't get after their little prison visitor center conversation. She fell asleep because they were having such a boring conversation. So when Bo's like, "Hey guys, let's get moving," he had to smelling salt her awake.
What?
And now we're 4 minutes in, and Shulin comes in with Rospo.
Our boy Bo.
I love you, Bo.
You're my boy, Bo.
You're my boy. He comes in, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "We followed the Jade Fox." And they're like, "Oh, God, it's a trap." And it is a trap.
This is this isn't like a gigantic sword fight, but this is the most action we're gonna get here.
Yes.
Yep. I think it's another example of Li Mubai being too good at his job. He is deadly efficient. I don't want to gloss over the Deadpool deflecting bullets from X-Men Origins that we get with all of these
both
needles.
Of them do it. Both Shulin and Li Mubai do the move, and they knock all the needles. They're knocking all the needles around, like one falls in their
like 99.9% of the needles.
Yeah. And I don't understand how they come out. Like she's not blowing them, so I don't know how they fly out, but whatever. And then Li Mubai has the coolest move where he kind of goes like he kind of
a little whisk.
He kind of Harry Potter Expelliarmus his sword toward her, and her sword just kind of just gets destroyed, like it just ribbons, which is pretty damn cool.
And he sends those shards shooting back through her, which is like, what?
Like a shotgun blast.
Yeah.
And then he strikes a death blow. It's just like, well, at least I'm happy we saw something cool. I would have loved another long, protracted sword fight,
That's another where I start going, really? That's it? That's the end of the fighting? She's dead?
Yeah. Bo didn't even get in the way or get
Bo didn't even
involved.
pull his sword out. Bo's like,
He's just standing there.
I'm just like, oh no. And then, of course, as she goes, like a true evil villain, she blames everyone else for her problems. She basically is talking about the scroll and that Jen somehow hid from her the power of the scroll this whole time.
By the way, all 8-year-old girls are full of deceit.
I was about to say, I don't have experience with 8-year-olds. So is this whole like 8-year-old children are all poison? Like
they have no qualms about using you to make sure that they get what they want, whether it be candy, Wudon scrolls, whatever. She's expecting loyalty from an 8-year-old girl.
You're saying, Robin, is your daughters are much better at Wudon than they are telling you they are.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably. I'm sure they'd keep it to themselves.
Okay.
Just like all deceitful 8-year-old girls.
That's why you can't even hide things on the top shelf because they're just going to Wudon their way up there.
Oh, they float. Oh, I cannot stop floating around the house. We get it.
Hey, keep it down. Stop floating.
Like you're like, clean your damn room. And they're like, I don't need to clean it. I can just float over the mess. And you're like, that's an abuse of Wudon powers. Oh my God. I also think that Jade Fox making a big point about 8-year-old girls being full of deceit is the confirmation that Jen is 18 in this movie, because she's been training with Jade Fox for 10 years and she started, I guess, as an 8-year-old. That's my suppose. So
all right, that passes the Kip Winger test.
Yeah.
So
all right, so Jade Fox dies, but before she dies, she's like, "You're gonna die too." And Li Mubai has in his neck one dart.
I love how he turns and then the camera, it reveals that there's a needle in his neck and he pulls it out like, oh shit.
And then he licks it. That was weird. Why would you lick it? It's poison. Why are you trying to get double poisoned?
Yeah.
If poisoning me once poisons me, maybe licking it again cures me.
Double negative.
That is a theory. Maybe, he's just a little bit too careless here. Maybe he had some intentions of like, I take Jade Fox out and then I am out of here. I am done. I'm not getting involved in relationships. I'm not going to be a teacher. I've done it all. I've got my revenge and, peace.
I mean, isn't that just how it works? Like you defeat the final boss and then all of the things that final boss did go away. You defeat the Thanos guy and all of his dudes die, or you beat up on Zod and all the robots or something from Krypton fall apart.
What the fuck are you talking about, Rick?
I don't know. I haven't.
Zod doesn't have robots.
It's been a while since I've seen. Been a while since I've seen any of those DC Marvel
Zod
stuff.
And his robot, man, you're gonna love Superman because you're gonna be like, wow, I never saw this stuff coming.
But
I'd like to announce now that Man of Steel is our next movie.
His entire body is a sword.
Yes, he's a super sword.
He's a super sword. Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, Jade Fox, in her dying breath, she blames everybody else. She says, 8-year-old girls are full of deceit. They're a poison. But the last thing she says is that Jen was her only family, but also her only enemy. And it's like, oh, isn't that just the way where the master trains the apprentice and then the apprentice betrays the master for the power? And then,
Is Jade Fox Sith? Is that what you're implying?
She might as well be.
It doesn't matter. That show's canceled.
It's one more thing that the Acolyte stole from this movie.
We're never going to find out. And Shulin is extremely mad because she's like, what poison did you use? And Jen knows. She's like, she uses the same poison she always uses for everything.
Yeah. So I looked this poison up. Did you, Rick?
So Jen calls it the purple yin poison. I have a suspicion of what it is, but Robin, I want to hear what your research said.
Mine said monk's hood / wolf's bane.
Yep.
Okay.
That was my
Okay.
suspicion as well.
Monk's hood. That's interesting. That she's using a poison, after being used and abused by Wudang monks.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm going to use their hood against them. What?
It's got a lot of names and they all sound like dicks. It's got Monk Shod, Wolf's Bane, Leopard's Bane, Devil's Helmet, Blue Rocket,
Get on that purple yin.
Baby holding
What?
an apple. What a weird thing. Why would you name it that?
It says here wine bottle.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
only
wine
thing that
bottle.
makes me think that it might not be Monk's Hood is that the only post-mortem sign is asphyxia. So when Li Mubai is like, yeah, in a couple of minutes, my blood is gonna reverse course and start flowing
Yeah.
backwards. It's like, all right, well, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's no poison does that.
Yeah, he should have definitely checked with his medical team.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
also,
sure he
we're
just has no idea.
we're
Like-
not on medical boys. Fuck those
Right.
guys. But Wolfsbane is like, if you eat it, you're dead.
Yeah. Treatment of the poisoning is mainly supportive, according to the Wikipedia, where it's like, hey, we're going to make you comfortable, bud, and let your body work through this.
If you're willing to cut out a lot of flesh, the poison can be removed. What does that mean? You ate it. So
Seems
what do
like
you mean
a
removed?
tall order.
I mean, like my stomach? What are you talking about? So yeah, there's
Would-
so
Jonathan-
Wolf. What?
I'm sorry. Would this movie have had a better ending if Li Mubai turned into a werewolf as a result of this poison? Just big
Oh.
reveal, credits.
This movie would have been better if anything happened to any character at the end of this movie that made any sense. Instead, Li Mubai slowly dying in front of his girlfriend, his would-be girlfriend. Jen runs off with Bo to go find the cure from a little lady. What's her name again?
Mrs. Yu or Mrs.
Me?
Wu. Mrs. Wu.
Not Mrs.
Not you. Wu.
Yeah.
Woo.
Woo.
Wu.
So Mrs.
Woo.
Wu. Mrs.
Who?
Wu. I like that they're like, there's no cure for this. And then Mrs. Wu like, I can give you a cure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jen's like, I know the recipe. I just need the stuff to make it. And Shulin's like, take my hairpin, go to the compound, give it to Mrs. Yu.
Mhm.
Take care of the rest.
There's a strange cutaway for a moment when Jen, it's right before when Jen arrives to see Mrs. Wu. We're with everybody in the cave, and then all of a sudden it's a quick cut to Bo. I think he's just burying Jade Fox in the
Yeah,
rain.
Is he burying
Why?
Jade Fox? He's not
Yes,
getting
he
mud.
is.
He? I thought maybe he's getting mud for like the treatment. I don't know.
He's burying a body out there.
Yeah. He brought May along because he used a hoe to dig out that hole.
Yeah. What?
You could see him pick it up once the body goes in. And it's like, Bo, it's pouring rain outside. Could you not wait 15 minutes? Just put a blanket over the body, then wait for the rain to stop. Then you can dig a grave and bury her in it. It just seems so, I don't want to, I guess disrespectful is the phrase that I'm looking for to Bo's character. It'd be like, okay, Li Mubai, Shulin, they're going to sit in the cave so that he can slowly die. Jen's off busy making the antidote. And I guess Bo's like, well, I might as well dig a grave while I'm here.
You think he like looked at them both as like, I don't need to be in here. And like grabbed the
Yeah.
body, flung it over his shoulder.
Yeah,
like,
I gotta have something to do.
I'm
But
gonna
he's just
go
like,
outside.
awkward.
Yeah, he's like,
Mhm.
he's like, Jesus, just fuck already. I'm leaving. He walks
It's like-
out.
It's like, I know that you didn't want to do it while I was outside and we were at the brutalist truck stop, but I'll just block my ears. Let
So,
you
yeah,
do
you
your
know,
thing.
So right now we're waiting on the thing to get there, but Shulin is, basically watching the man she loves die, and he's basically like, hey, I've always loved you.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, best acting we've ever seen on this podcast.
This is really good. This
Yeah.
is because this is two
It's
great
emotional.
actors being
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
And again, if this was how the movie ended, I would have been like, Great. Well,
this would have been a great ending.
I would have been like, that's super sad, but damn, that's a good ending.
Yeah.
Nope. That's not what we get. That's not the ending of this movie.
In my notes, I said that this was absolutely the best acting we've seen so far, ... except for any scenes between Gort and Baldwin back in Hawk Slayer.
I would also put in there any scene where any scene with Sean Connery, let's just say that.
Can I add on any scene Rip Torn? Just any scene, ... Rip Torn.
I'm going to have to go with any scene Clancy Brown.
All right.
So let's put it this way. It's top 5.
Right.
Top 5 easy. We should probably rate that at the end of this movie. We should rate the top 10, top 5, our favorite moments so far of all of our Sword Boy movies.
I'm not prepared for this.
And
this sounds like a TC
No, Robin. Sometimes you do things that aren't written down in front of you, and you don't just read off a list.
You just got to feel it out.
Sometimes you just gotta think about it.
Okay. All right. I think I'm up for
it's okay though. We're not there yet. So anyway,
is it time?
Unrequited love. He's dying. He
is so stoned right here.
I love so much his dying words because Shulin's like, you need to meditate. You need to get your soul ready to go to heaven so that you're not like damned. And he's like, I'm not wasting my breath on you because I've literally wasted my life avoiding you for the sake of tradition and stuff like that. And I just feel the phrase, I would rather be a ghost drifting by your side as a condemned soul than enter heaven without you. Because of your love, I will never be a lonely spirit. And it's like, if I could be that eloquent on my deathbed, I would count myself lucky. But as I discussed back in Highlander, I'm immediately getting my head cut off.
Yeah.
So, but seriously, it's a beautiful line.
It is. And it's a beautiful scene. This is a well done scene. Again,
the kissing and the crying at the same time. Michelle Yeoh. Oh God.
And this is where the movie needed to end.
Yes. With maybe them coming back and finding out and having Jen stand there and be like, oh, we're too late. And then she goes to her knees, and then it would be Shulin walking up to her with the sword and whipping it to her head and being like, live your life the best you can. Like, live a good life. Be true to yourself. And that's where the movie ends.
I would have been happy. I would have been happy if Shulin tells Jen, live your life true to yourself. Bo, take the sword back to Surti. If we, instead of following Jen, if we follow the sword.
Yeah. Well, sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're more interested.
That's in every movie. I'd rather just follow the sword.
But just like watching Bo take the sword back to Peking, watching Surti put it away. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, put a lock on the box this time.
Yeah. Or tell him to actually watch it this time.
If people are going to keep taking it, he could just put like a sign out sheet. People can like, hey, I'm a thief taking the sword on this day at this time. And then when they bring it back, they can fill it in. Okay, the thief returned to the sword at this day and this time. Stamp.
Did you guys think it was inappropriate when Bo walked over to Li Mubai's body and started putting on his clothes and said, no one could tell the difference? And he was like looking at it, Shulin like, hey, it's not bad. Like,
I actually was more bothered when Bo just suddenly, while Shulin and Jen were having a conversation, just quickly scooped up Li Mubai's body and quickly ran outside to bury him. There's no time. We have to bury him.
I think Bo's afraid of vampires and wolves, werewolves and stuff.
It's a good thing there are so many needles covered in wolfsbane.
He wants to get out of that room. He's like, I gotta get away from all these needles. They're freaking me the hell out. Maybe Bo doesn't like needles. Maybe this is way before needles were a problem with your life. So when he sees them, I'm like, I don't know what this feeling is, but I don't like it. It's so weird that Shulin takes. Well, first when she takes her hairpin and jams it into Jen's hair, I was kind of like, is that one of the wolfsbane needles? I was kind of thinking like, just kind of clamped her the head. That.
Was it the
it's her hair.
It wasn't the green comb.
No, it's the little hairpin that gave Jen like free reign to talk to Mrs. Wu. Yeah. I imagine that this hairpin is also going to let her into Wudon Mountain.
Robin, the green comb is for fucking. You only have that around when you bone down. Right?
That's true. That's true. I don't know why I've never heard of a green comb before.
So she
Damn.
basically it's a comb. Well, we've already had our comb shot, so we're gonna have another one. We have a second comb shot here in a second. I didn't think this movie was gonna go there, and it does. So yeah, Shulin basically gives her life and says, be true to yourself, whatever that means.
Yeah.
This is when I just see Ang Lee standing behind the camera, and everybody's kind of like, this ending doesn't make any sense. Don't worry about it. Well, it'll all be good in editing. Because everybody's kind of like, so where are we going now? We're going to Wudon? Okay. He's basically told where Lo is. Lo is in Wudon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got to go find him. So she leaves. And that's the last we're going to see of, that's the last, like, Shulin's gone for the movie. Bo, gone for the movie. Li Mubai's corpse, gone for the movie.
Yep. It's the low end Jen show from here on out.
The main characters are gone. And now, it looks like Lo is finally, thank God, he finally attained the rank of master. He is not
good for him.
Yeah, good for him. He's now a Jedi. Yeah. Like his father's before him. He's gotten his robe looks really comfortable. She shows up, they kiss, and then
they immediately bone down. It's like she shows up, he sees her, and he's like, let's go to bed.
And she's probably like, I'm kind of working through some stuff. Okay, I guess we're doing this. This felt like more like the Low show and not like she was kind of into it. She was just kind of like, whatever, this is fine.
Wudan Mountain ain't nothing to fuck with, but it is a great place to fuck on. Yeah, it's called Mountain for a reason.
Yes,
right. But yeah, he wakes up and the comb is right next to him, and he's like,
Wudon
"Oh
Mountain
man, did I get dumped again?"
I can't explain the move exactly what Wudon Mountain is, but it's there's some grippage involved.
There's floating.
There is floating. So basically, he gets to bone her down, and then the next morning, he wakes up next to the comb.
She leaves her comb on the bed.
Oh, there's comb everywhere. That bed is completely covered in comb. Lo goes to go find her, and she's standing on some bridge and at the Wudon Palace. And every time I think of the Wudon Palace, it makes me hungry. For some reason, that sounds like a place I would eat. You ever been to the Wudon Palace?
I know where we're going after this.
That are fantastic.
I'm gonna get an A7, and I'm gonna get the extra egg roll.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get those weird gelatinous desserts. I don't know what they are, but they like kind of taste like coconut water a little. But they're square. I don't know what they are, but they're good. So
load me up on Rangoons.
Rangoon is good. She is sad. She says, "Do you remember the story about the guy?" And he's just like, "Make a wish." Is it the payoff? She says, "Make a wish."
It's the payoff, at least for the story. I don't know.
Yeah. And Lo says he wants to be back in the desert. Ugh.
Yeah.
He wants to be back in the desert. Couple of the worst places.
Like, too easy.
Yep.
That's not a wish at all.
She leaps from the bridge like the young man in the story. And in the story, the young man is never seen again, but everybody knows that his wish was fulfilled and stuff like that. And it's like, Lo is such a clingy boyfriend that Jen would rather leap from a mountain than stay with him.
I've probably had some bad sex in my life, but I don't think I've had sex so bad that the woman has murdered herself afterwards. I can at least say that. That's a low bar.
You even had a close call, or is it just me? No.
No. No. And this is where, and she flies. She's flying. She's not falling. I mean, I guess she's falling with style.
Right. She is inventing the wingsuit jump. Because with her outfit, it looks like a wingsuit.
Because you didn't see the sign in the back. It says Wudon Palace, now sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is that she's going to drift down, and then she's going to like smash through the window of a train and save what's her face, Peggy Carter.
Right.
That's from another podcast I'm not doing right now. And then the movie fades to black, and Jonathan yelled at the screen and just went, "Fuck you, movie." I think we've distilled down why I hated that. It's the ending. It's not everything up until that last scene. I'm fine with. And that last scene is so fucking bad. And I don't understand it. And I had to, like an idiot, write Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, ending explained. And guess what? No one can explain it. Because people
Right.
are like, oh, she leapt because she wanted to grant his wish. I don't understand what that means. Is she going to be at the bottom waiting for him in the desert? Two, people were like, oh, it's because she sacrificed herself for love. And I'm like, why? That's not also not explained. That doesn't make any sense. This
She
movie,
she was advised by Shulin to be true to herself,
Mhm.
to choose a path where she's so after she bones, she's like, so is the path boning down? And then
Nope.
she's like, okay, what do I do now? The path is making that jump. Like she could have studied at Wudang, kept being there. She could have gone to the desert. She could have gone and got married, you know.
Well, I
But
mean,
instead,
she's still married.
oh,
Her
yeah,
being married has not changed despite her running away from it.
oh shit, that's right. She is married.
She is married to a guy named Gao.
But the thing is, like,
Just because they didn't consummate, they're still married.
What happens with between her and Shulin, like she doesn't kill her and leaves her alive. Sometimes the best punishment is to leave a person alive that is going to feel really guilty for something that's happened. And I mean, does she kill herself because the guilt is too much?
Is she
to
killing
carry?
herself? Is she killing herself?
I don't think she is killing
I don't
herself.
I don't think she's killing herself either. She is. They show it as her flying, not plummeting.
Like
Right.
when Shulin told Jen, live, according to your own, how did she put it? Whatever path you take in life, be true to yourself.
She said do the do, which is weird.
Jen does not want to be tied down. And she looks at Gao,
Right.
Not
her
right
legal
now.
husband, and she's like, I don't want to be tied down by him. She looks at Lo, the clingy desert boyfriend, and she's like, I don't want to be tied down by him. I want to be free like the wind. And so she flies away because Jen is like a bird. She will only fly away. She doesn't know where her home is and all that other music reference stuff that I don't quite remember off the top of my head.
I just wonder if this was something laid out in her Assassin's Creed, this leap of faith.
There's a
Hay bale?
cart full of hay at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get music reference, but I get video game references. So, yeah, I don't think she's dead. I think now it would have been different if the movie ended with I see her soaring. I know they were like, that's one of the worst also effects to end on. It was like, look like shit. But
Right.
I would have been okay with her like going up again, like not only going down, but also coming up and like her like rising in the air, kind of like this is now what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like fly around for a little while and then we'll go back to screwing.
You know what
then
they
I'll
could
get
have
back alive.
done? They could have shown her like descending into the mist, and then it could have been like the end of an episode of Touched by an Angel, where like a dove flies up in front of the camera, like she transformed into a bird because she wanted to be free.
Is this John Wudang Mountain?
She should have jumped off, landed on the ground, and then when an old lady could have been like, "Who are you?" And then she looks to her left, and then the ghost of Li Mubai, she can see him, and she's like, "I'm Jin Mubai." Cut to credits. Huh?
I'm yeah. I like that. I like that. It's so weird. I think the weird problem with this is that I don't know. I don't consider Jen and Lo the stars of this movie.
Right. They're love I don't care about.
Yeah.
He was like he
this should have ended
stole
with
her.
Yeah. This should have ended with Bo, the hero,
The hero
of the movie. We needed to know he gets handed this sword to go bring back to Surti. What happened?
Like, does
What
Bo
happened?
Hand the sword
Make it
over
back.
to Mr. T, and Mr. T goes, I pity the fool. Cut to black.
Yeah.
The fool
Yeah.
is the people who have been in love this whole movie.
I would have loved if the last shot of this movie was Surti laying the green destiny into the case and then shutting the lid. And the shutting the lid is like the wipe that goes to black type of thing.
Mhm.
Oh, Ang Lee.
Or- I don't know
Or
what
like-
angle. I don't. Okay, I'm gonna come out. Oh, what were you saying? Ron?
Well, I was just saying, like, this could have been a great moment where we see we see Bo burying the sword. It's the third grave over, and he's just like, I guess bury. What is the
It's like
when
Highlander, where
seeking
he buried
revenge?
in Highlander, they bury the man and they jam your sword in right there next to it. It says McLeod. Maybe in this, when you bury a sword, you leave Lee Mubai's body up, like you stick him up, and he's the one waiting. And literally, oh, we buried a sword. Don't worry, that's not what this is. This is
Did
Oh
I
no,
mix this up?
Bo could have taken the Green Destiny out, and then he sees the mound where Li Mubai's body is buried, and he's like, and he sticks the Green Destiny into the mound, and then like Li Mubai's hand shoots up through the ground like the end of Carrie.
or like
Oh.
another great Sean Connery movie, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh yes.
Yes, if you bury me in Africa, I'll always come back. Oh, no swords in that fucking movie. I think there's one sword. I don't remember. Oh, maybe there might be two, but it's not. It's technically
You'll
not
have to
a sword
rewatch.
movie.
Yeah,
It's
we're
not a sword
gonna
movie.
have to give it a rewatch. There's a lot of guns in that movie.
I'm pretty sure that Captain Nemo and Dorian Gray have swords of some kind, because Dorian Gray gets impaled with the one by.
Well,
Tucker.
I think Dorian Gray also does some impaling, because I think there's like, I always wanted to see you penetrated joke or something like that. It's incredibly gross.
Yes. Everyone remember that for later. We might have to come back and look at the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's a Dorian Gray area.
Right.
So I guess we're at the part that we all love. This is going to be contentious, I think. Does it get your sword? Does this movie, well, first of all, did it stick the landing? Did you enjoy the movie? Does it get your sword? I'd like to talk about this as we go, because we've talked about it before, and we don't have really an answer yet. I like that it keeps changing. Is the movie sticking the landing the reason why it gets a sword? Is it because you liked it? Is it getting your sword because you enjoyed the movie? Or is it hitting some criteria? Because I think Rick enjoyed Masters of the Universe, but he did not give it his sword because he felt it didn't have enough swords in it, which kind of to me feels like a technicality in a movie where, in my mind, it got my sword because I was completely entertained the whole time and loved it. So I'm still on this. What is giving your sword? Is giving your sword giving your stamp of approval, or is it as a sword boy saying this is a sword movie? Two different things.
I think it's for me, it's like a mix of the two. It's got to have some sword play, and it's got to be a movie I really enjoyed.
And comb shots.
I mean, as long as there's plenty of shots of comb on the bed, that too.
All right,
but yeah, I think it isn't just a binary thing for me.
Okay.
It's or else I'm going to be really predictable. There's like one sword scene. Robin's going to give it a
right, and that's what I was saying.
Down.
Like Masters of the Universe has a lot less swords than it should, but it still gets my sword because it was thoroughly entertaining. So I guess my question to you is, I guess we go Rick first. Rick, does it get your sword?
This movie absolutely gets my sword. It's got amazing fight scenes. They're extremely well choreographed. The acting performances are amazing. 100% this movie gets my sword, hands down.
I'll go next. I'll go next.
Okay. Boo. No, go ahead.
Bo.
Oh, Bo. Is he saying Boo Earns? No, he's saying Bo. the titular hero of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This movie does not get my sword. And I'm going to explain why. This movie does it's beautiful. And I went back and actually, before I made this, I went back and read a bunch of stuff about Ang Lee. I went and looked at all of his movies. And here's what I figured out. I don't like Ang Lee movies. Brokeback Mountain is fine.
Yeah.
Everything is beautifully shot and amazingly framed, and it's beautiful. The movie's beautiful. This isn't Camera Boys. Fuck those guys. This is Sword Boys. Do they show a lot of swords? Yes, they have one of the coolest swords ever. Is it used? Some. I feel like it should have been used a lot more. More often than not, it's just being held. And to me, that's the same thing that reason why I think Rick didn't give his sword to Masters of the Universe. If if He-Man had actually had his sword in his hand the entire movie, I think we would have given him his sword. But because he doesn't even use it ever till the end of the movie for like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, maybe.
So what I'm saying is this movie does not stick the landing for me. It does not get my sword because for me, I also need to enjoy it on some level. And the swordness, it's too weird and too nothing at the end for me to give it my sword. I hated it 25 years ago. I hate it now. I haven't changed, okay? I'm not a better person.
Change is not good.
It doesn't get my sword. I'm sorry.
All right.
All
One
right.
up, one down.
Robin, you're the tiebreaker.
You know
Okay. Now I'm looking at Ang Lee's filmography, and I would say this might be my favorite Ang Lee movie. And there's plenty of Ang Lee that I haven't checked out, and there's several that I'm like, I'm good with one viewing.
I will say this is probably top 3 Ang Lee movie.
Mm-hmm. Hulk number 1.
Hulk number 1.
Gemini Man. And
number
then
2.
Kamini, yeah.
I was intimidated. We talked about how intimidating this movie was to approach because, you know, we were talking about Masters of the Universe before. It was just kind of like, all right, now you're in AP English. You were in remedial.
Right. Now with the
do a
big
thesis.
Boys, we're in film theory. We're in film, like we're into something where we can actually throw theory at it.
Yeah.
The last movie we did, there was a man in a little rubber mask. So you can't, there's more than one man in a little rubber mask. So yeah, it's stupid. But this movie is like, this is serious cinema.
Mm-hmm.
It might be serious, but I don't know if it's good.
Right. I think I love this movie. But I will say, like, I don't think I understand all of it.
Thank
but
you.
I love. I can't say I understand this movie from beginning to end.
So,
but this is the first time I've been able to like just kind of like get into it and try to understand it.
So what's happening here is
sword fights.
The three of us are standing on the metaphorical bridge, Jonathan on one side, me on the other, and you're just going to say, make a wish and leap from the bridge to avoid answering.
No. This movie gets my sword. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's got some of the coolest freaking sword fights in this movie. And the time, most of the time of this movie, I'm enjoying myself. I think it's the only drawback is some of the Jen and Lo stuff. I just don't care about them as much. I mean, God, you got Chow Yun-fat and Michelle Yeoh. I want to follow them to the ends of the earth. I want that relationship. Yeah. And I got so excited about Chow, I ended up rewatching a bunch of stuff that he did with John Woo. That was a lot of fun.
Well, now we haven't talked about Chow Yun-fat. I love almost all of his movies, as opposed to Ang Lee is just, he's a different kind of guy. I will give him this, visionary. This movie, without this movie, we're not getting, I'm trying to think what would have come out after it, but we're not getting
Hero, House of Flying Daggers.
There are a lot of movies that came out after this that he showed that you could still have a quiet story inside of a sword fight movie. Because this really isn't a sword fight movie. It's a quiet story that has some sword fights.
And that's fine. Great sword fights.
And they're very good. They're very good, but it didn't, I don't know. I think
also, I spent a long time on Karate Kid Minute and really just getting into the martial arts scene and enjoying martial arts. So it's like I got my swords and my martial arts all together. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. This is wonderful.
And I mean, if we wanted to watch a Chinese language movie with like 80% sword, 20% story instead of the other way around, like we could have just watched Hero from 2002, which is still on the list somewhere. It'll probably be end up being a TC
or a Jackie Chan. There are some Jackie Chan. I don't remember if Drunken Master. Not all of his movies have swords because he's more of a hand-to-hand.
Yeah, he's more of a hand-to-hand fisticuffs guy.
But there are those kind of those movies that he was playing on. Always guy with white long beard fights guy in black with long beard. It's like they literally had archetypes of these characters. and which they talk about in other movies. But I think that would be interesting for us to do, like a movie that's just crazy action the whole time with almost no story. Like they don't even care. And you watch it with the dub, and you're like, it doesn't make any sense, but who cares? Because this movie was well thought out in part, but there's still a lot that to me that doesn't make sense. And I don't know if that's coming from an American watching a Chinese focused movie. Like, is this more of a, is this at the time, was this something that the Chinese, obviously the Chinese audience that saw this ate it up. Everyone ate it up. It was huge. This movie's mammoth. So I don't want to use my prejudice of like, this isn't my kind of karate movie, which is a bad way to say it, because it's like a dumb way to say, like, I was saying there ain't enough fighting, and that's basically it's not the fighting that's the problem.
Yeah, I just feel like the stuff that I don't understand is, you see, I've looked up articles about it. Even the Wikipedia talks about, some of these themes are steeped in like Chinese history and Chinese literature, whereas in China somebody might not get a Huck Finn joke or a or a Shakespeare joke or something, and to us it's just like, oh yeah, I see what they're riffing on here.
And I think that's part of it. I think there was just some culture differences that just I think some of the stories are so subtle that I'm just like, ugh.
Also, a lot of character motivations are driven by societal stuff from that time, from that region, from that era, that we're just not well versed in. The whole idea of filial piety is just a completely harebrained idea to a modern perspective like ours.
Well, I mean, Two Swords, it's still it's Two Swords with a heavy recommend for me.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's still something that should be seen by everyone. It's a good movie. I didn't love the ending. I think now we've decided, it's not that I don't like the movie. I don't like the ending of this movie. And unfortunately that ruined it for me, but still stylistically, it's beautiful.
Listen, not sticking the landing, even after a perfect routine, will still dock you points.
Yep. Those are my points. So that's how I feel. So I think the important thing is to talk about next. We gotta tear down all these sets that we built. I have a very intricate Wudon palace set back here.
I spent so much money on bamboo, you guys. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these plants.
Guys, I'm burying Bo right now. Oh, I'm burying Bo.
Robin, come back. We're still podcasting. We should probably talk about the next movie we're going to do.
That's right. It is a Robin pick.
I hemmed and I hawed, and then finally I was just like, I don't care, I want to do this. And then I sat down with you guys. I was like, please, and you guys gave me the go ahead.
Yeah, because you were like worried to ask us, and we're both like, yeah, like we both just go,
yeah. We're of course. Why not?
Well, we usually have movies where it's like 6 to 8 cuts. This next movie is going to be 10 cuts. So we're going to be spending some time with this. It's a movie that we can go chapter by chapter, and we're watching it in its entirety, whole bloody affair cut.
Both volumes.
I'm talking about Kill Bill. We're going to talk Kill Bill part 1 and 2. We have acquired a whole bloody affair cut, but I am, if you don't have access to that, and I think that's just a fan cut anyway, I don't know.
I mean, it is an official release. Obviously Kill Bill Volume 1 came out 2003. Kill Bill Volume 2 came out 2004. Kill Bill the whole bloody affair, all 4 hours and 7 minutes of it, was officially released as a thing in 2006.
I don't even know if we need to put time codes in this, because this thing is happily, nicely laid out in chapters. So you'll be like, I guess I'm doing chapter 2 next time.
Yeah, I think we do chapters.
And some of them are short. Some of them are really long.
So some of our episodes won't be as long as our normal episodes, but I think some of you will blissfully be happy with that.
Yeah, I've looked over the chapters for Kill Bill, and Robin was kind enough to lay it out for us in the group chat. Chapters 1 through 9 comprise the first 3 hours. The last hour is the last chapter. So
Yeah.
we're not going to have a truncated final episode because the end credits take up so much time.
Right. And really like basically where Kill Bill Volume 1 ends, that's a long cut. That chapter 5 Showdown at House of Blue Leaves is 43 minutes. The last chapter, Face to Face, chapter 10 is 56 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna have a couple of long ones and a couple of short ones.
Yeah.
I think the shortest one is like 16 minutes, but anyway.
Give or take.
Well, 13. 13.
But yeah,
I'm excited.
I love that we're sticking with the Eastern fighting style still. We're going to see a lot of like Japanese style of fighting as opposed to the Chinese style of fighting. Lots of subtitle, a lot of necessary but also unnecessary subtitles.
Right. We're still recording, right?
Oh yeah, we're still recording. We just lost Jonathan. Yeah, we'll wait.
Okay. He just threw himself off the Woodhawk Mountain.
I think the big question is when he goes back and listens to this, is he going to edit out this banter part? Or is he going to keep it?
I think this is very valuable. But no, I've been watching a little Tarantino here and there, and I have not seen Kill Bill in a few years, so I like the idea of just kind of pushing this all together and really examining all the feet, all the horrific words used as.
Yeah, so for me as well, Robin, it has been a while since the last time I watched any Kill Bill stuff, and just going through the initial few chapters to divvy up the videos so that we can watch them isolated. It feels like there's extra things in the whole bloody affair that weren't necessarily included in the original movies. Like I think the entire origin of Oranishi was not included in the original cut, so that'll be a fun chapter to talk about, especially bloody.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Again, this is another one that I've only seen once.
Oh,
so I'm excited to, because I truthfully I don't watch a lot of Tarantino stuff more than once, except Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards, which my oldest has like kind of latched onto. Those are great movies, and we will watch, like he's like, you want to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I'm like, yeah,
hell yeah.
It's on an afternoon. So yeah, I'm excited to come back into this. Now I do remember having good feelings about this movie.
Oh, good.
If I go back and look at all my Quentin Tarantino's, I think I'm trying to think if I don't like any Quentin Tarantino movies. I wasn't a huge, it's funny enough. I've said before famously that I wasn't a huge fan of Pulp Fiction when I saw it because I was on a blind date that I didn't want to be on.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, that's rough.
In college. And I was very unhappy. So I went back and saw it with my best friend, now wife, and it was much better. So, yeah, this was a date with someone else that wasn't my wife. So, yeah, but I'm excited for this movie. Everybody's in it.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait. It's gonna be 10 episodes. That'll be good.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be just constantly being in love with Uma Thurman again and again and again.
Yeah, and I'm also like this. I mean, I think this is a great. I think you picked a great one, Robin, to go from Crouching Tiger to this one, because he grew up on the same movies that Ang Lee grew up on. So, but filtered through an American vision, which I think is why it sits with me like, hell yeah, fuck yeah. Like he ramps it up in a different way, I think, which is going to be interesting. Can't wait to talk about it.
And we'll see what you guys pick next, but I promise my next pick will be like 80s trash again. When it finally gets around to me again.
That's okay. We got to have our renaissance of we have younger people that listen to these movies. Not everybody's a 40-plus-year-old.
That's true. And exactly. Also, if you're bored, join the Patreon.
We got to tell you, the Patreon has been
so
great.
much stuff.
Our Patreon is so good. It's at patreon.com/swordboys.
I don't even know what we would just have done
Who knows?
when this cut comes out.
I mean, we've done Ninja 3 The Domination.
Yep. That was the most recent one on the
Yeah,
Patreon as we're recording this episode. As
Right,
this
but we've all-
episode is
as
coming
recording.
out,
Mhm.
God, did I write down when
think
this
we're a
episode is
couple-
coming out?
The Northmen would have already been shown. It would already be, you already, that one would come out by the time this comes out.
Eric
Yeah.
Northman.
There's a
Eric Northman.
there's a TC boot with a bunch of question marks on it that came out the week before this episode is airing because
Oh,
it's coming out that far ahead of time. So
Yeah,
That'd be
and
a
then
surprise to
it's,
us.
and it's sort of the Valiant, Yellowbeard, the Scorpion King, Rob Roy, the Man in the Iron Mask, Highlander 2. These are, I mean, this is all good stuff. If you're not in, you should come in. It's $2 a month, and there's 2 episodes a month. There is a full episode plus a next time. Next time is basically where we yell at each other and talk about what we want to do next. And we now have this wheel. Now the wheel's going to choose movies for us, and we keep adding one to the wheel each time. It's a whole thing.
yeah.
Sword Boys is at patreon.com/swordboys.
Yep.
Super, not slash as in the word slash. Patreon.com URL/swordboys. So come on over.
you are all slashed by the Sword Boys.
You
Gotcha.
are all slash.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But as far as the main feed is concerned, we hope you will all come back because next time, 4 years after a massacre in an El Paso chapel, the tranquility of a Pasadena neighborhood is broken by shattered glass. Uma Thurman is the bride, and she's out for Vivica A. Fox's blood. Grab yourself a cup of coffee and pour a bowl of cereal for cut 1 of Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair.
Hell yeah.
I can't believe we
so
haven't
excited.
done a Steven Seagal movie yet. That just came to my mind. I'm sorry. That just came to my mind as we're talking.
Are there any Seagal sword movies?
I mean, there's gotta be a sword movie, right?
I added like 15 to 20 samurai movies to the Sword Boys movie list the other day. So the movie list continues to evolve.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. So until next time, that's gonna be great. Thank you guys for doing this. Clang clang!
Cling clang!
Clang clang!
I'm gonna go jump off the mountain.